Hi everyone, it's Karen Jean from Ex Libris Crafts, and thanks for stopping by. Let's have some fun. I have a surprise under here. Whoop! Did you see it? Okay, here we go. We're going to start a new journal today, and I'm going to do something that I have never done before, and I haven't seen anybody else do it, although that's not to say that it hasn't been done before. So, the big reveal. Ta-da! What this is just regular copy paper. You see them all here, where I put down different pieces of fabric on top of the glass plate, and so I collaged fabric, and then I copied it. Now this I have seen done before. I saw this, got this idea from a Facebook group that I belong to called Junk Journal Tutorials, so check it out, where a woman had fabric that she loved, but she didn't have that much left of it, so she tried copying it, and it came out beautiful, which gave me the idea of doing this. So here we have different fabrics that I've made copies of, lots, and then of course I laid them out a couple of different ways, and I love it. I love these colors. Obviously, I love these fabrics. And I just copied them on copy paper, but you can copy them on cardstock. You can glue them down to different things. You can make tags out of them and whatnot. I love this. And then this gave me the idea of, because I love making fabric-covered junk journals, except for the exception of like one junk journal, Paisley. I think all my journals are fabric-covered. So that gave me the idea of to do this collage fabric onto the journal frame. And so this is where I'm at right now. This is obviously a cereal box that I have cut down so that it is 6 inches wide by 9 inches high. So that means I just have to take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and fold it in half without doing any trimming, and it'll fit in there very nicely. And it'll have a spine of about 1 3/4. Now what I will do is I will cut another piece of cardboard out to reinforce this spine. I will also turn it inside out to have this on the outside. And I'm probably going to have to cover this, because it's this craft paper color, with white paper. Because what I'm going to do, ta-da, is I am going to collage fabric onto that and iron it on. I've already attached fabric pieces, as you can see here, to some heat and bond, which is thermal transfer webbing, right? And then what I will do is I will take this back over to the ironing board, cut out my bits and pieces of fabric, and then iron it onto here as a fabric collage. So that is the step I'm at next. I am going to do this off camera though, because my ironing board's on the other side of the room and I'd have to move the camera and everything else. So we're not going to do that. So that is my next step, is to cover this probably with some sticker paper, and I might have some here in my bin. Anyway, just plain sticker paper. If not, I know I have some over on my shelf. So I will get that, cover this up, then iron on my fabric collage, and then I'll come back. So stay tuned. Okay, everybody, I'm back. And this is the result. There is our cereal box, right? And here I just did a collage with the fabric from the fabric that I had used on the transfer. I even used little fabric corners here on the book, if you can see. And I fussy cut out a flower from the one fabric, and I did that. So this is where we are. I have a stack of paper over here to start putting together the signatures, but first we need to deal with the inside covers. Now I also fussy cut out 1.5, not quite sure, flowers that I thought we could put on the inside covers. I might have to redo this one again because it's cut in half. But what I want to do to cover the inside of this is and also because this is not reinforced, I don't have a reinforcer here yet. What I've done is I've cut down 2 pieces of purple cardstock to make the inside covers, and I overlapped it, as you can see here. I'm overlapping them on the spine, so that'll give us our reinforcement on our spine. Now, to glue them down. And the glue I'm going to use here, normally with fabric I use the 3-in-1 beacon glue, either Fabri-Fix or Fabri-Tac. For every other thing I use, well, for most other things I use art glitter glue. Permanent, water-based, non-toxic. I guess it's, well, let's give it a try to see if, I'm not just, what I'm questioning in my mind, my thought process is how well it will adhere to the fabric. But let us go ahead and give it a try here, shall we? Now let me do my little zigzaggies to give better adherence. Gives it a little bit more gripping space. Well, not quite zigzag. It looks more like a heartbeat, doesn't it? The heart monitor. Up, down lines. Here we go. Just a little back and forth motion, just to give it a little bit of more. And then, oh, and my glue feels like I might need to use more, get more. I have a huge bottle. This is a 4-ounce bottle. This is a 4-ounce bottle. There's still a lot in it. And I use it frequently, and I've been using it, I guess this is about 3 months old. So I know that the art glitter glue is more expensive. It can be a bit pricey for people, but it certainly is worth its weight. It lasts a long time. What sense is there in getting a less expensive glue if you run out of it more frequently? So let us see. If my head gets in the way, please excuse me. There we go. Make sure we get that down. Oh, look, my t-shirt matches. It's a purple day. It's always a purple day in my house. Oh, purple being my favorite color. Let me get my bone folder here. See if I can. Now, a lot of times what I find, if you're using thinner paper, whoops, and something like the PVA glue, the art glitter glue or something, and you glue it down, get over there, there we go. See, I don't know if you can see, there's shadowing here where I put the glue lines. With the thicker cardstock, it really doesn't bleed through, but a thinner paper, it does. So that's also something to take into consideration. Then you can use perhaps like a adhesive glue gun, you know, the tapes, or like a glue stick or something. But for something like this, for the cover, definitely want something that is going to give a good strong hold. So what we could also do, and I'll do it here, just for, you know, giggles, why not, is here's my glue gun. Just do that. I'm not going to the edges with it because I want to use the art glitter glue for that. There we go. And then fill in the rest with the, I don't think it really matters that much on the inside covers, because sometimes you'll put pockets or tuck spots or other kinds of decorations. At least I do. There he goes. Zippity-doo-dah. And this is just to, I think over time this tape would dry out, and let's make sure we have it lined up with that. There we go. I have some on my fingers. All right. There we go. Okay. Burnish it down. Now, one thing, I was watching Julie over at Dear Julie on her recent video she's doing, starting from scratch kind of thing, not basic, but how to start a junk journal. Let's fold this over. Okay, bone folder, definitely need a bone folder here. And the one thing that she did was, and it's a very good idea, so I'm going to do it here, she uses graph paper and makes a template of her signatures, and she saves them so she's not reinventing the wheel, and so that she's sure of spacing. I thought it was a very good idea, because usually I just eyeball things, you know, fly by the seat of my pants like most of us. I'm not that organized, but I thought it was a good idea. So I want to, there we go. Let's see how it's coming up here. So we need to throw some glue. Need to throw some lots of glue down there. Hopefully this isn't going to be a big flop. Glue that down. I might have to use the fabric tack instead. If it pops up again, I will definitely use the fabric tack. The art glitter glue is not as easy to get off your fingers as the fabric tack or Fabrifix is. So let's see. It's popping up still a little bit there. Hold that down. Also, what I did not do here, and I frequently do, is reinforce the bendy parts from the spine, from the front and back covers, with either a clear mailing tape or a Tyvek tape, because over the course of time they can become weak spots as well. And let's see. Okay, so I'm not ready to take out the, oh, what also I want to do, and I'll do that now because we're about to set this aside to put together our signatures, is I'm going to use some liquid pearls to trace around this flower here so that we can see it, because it is the cover, and I'm not thinking, I'm just pulling out different colors of liquid pearls. I'm not planning on, I definitely don't want that, doing too much else with it. I think I want the fabric to speak for itself. That'll get kind of lost. That'll get lost. I'm leaning towards black, to tell you the truth. I even have this silver and the platinum here, but I think that would get lost as well. So I think I'm going to do it in black. Put all those back. I should get a big bottle of this. I use the black frequently. Let's get a little piece of scrap over here. So I'm going to outline this with the black. Just make sure it's coming out on my little, all right, and make sure it's in frame. And if my head gets in the way, I apologize. I just do a slow squeeze. I have the tip pressed down onto the book, would even come in here and do this. Here we go. I want a nice thin, oops, nice thin line. Nothing too much. So it's funny, my sister, who I've talked about in the past, who lives up in Troy, New York, she has every other Friday off. She goes in earlier the rest of the days of the week so that she can get every other Friday off. She's been doing this for years, but with the pandemic and everything, she's been working from home. I messed up a little bit there, but that's okay. Working from home, and so she sent me a text message yesterday morning. She lives alone with her cat. She sent me a text message yesterday morning. It was like 8:15 or so, you know, saying, "Good morning, just getting up now. How are you doing?" And my response was, it's kind of late for you, isn't it? Because she's normally at work at 7 o'clock in the morning. And she said, well, no, you know, it's my past day. That's what she calls it. And no babysitting. She babysits for this little boy, little infant. Or she did, but the parents are now working from home themselves. So she would babysit every other Friday, too. You know, it's my past day and no babysitting today. And I'm like, well, yeah, but hold on, you know, it's Thursday, it's not Friday. And that got her blood going. I didn't hear from her for the rest of the day. It was pretty funny. So she sent me a message today, you know, later in the morning, closer to lunchtime. And, you know, just to say hello and stuff. And I was like, so, how you doing? Yeah, that was pretty funny. See, there we go. That makes it pop a little bit more. I think I might also, hopefully not mess it up by doing this. Now, you could do this, I suppose, with a marker, but because it's fabric, the marker, I think, would bleed some. And you'd have a right mess on your hands then, for sure. Yeah. Just trying to give it a little dimension. Now again, this is ironed on with Heat and Bond Light, the Heat and Bond being the fusible webbing, you know, that you use to iron stuff on t-shirts and, you know, things like that. I've had a bolt of it, gosh, for years and years. Years and years ago, I used to work at Joann Fabrics part-time. And I will say that, yes, most of my paycheck did go right back into the store, to be honest. But I had fun working there. And maybe this over here. And I hope I'm in frame. Although, not that watching this is all that exciting. But there we go. Yeah, I do like that better. It brings your attention to it. Otherwise, it would just kind of blend in with everything else. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside to dry. And these are the papers that I have pulled out to do our signatures with. Now, this is, again, copies the whole thing that started this, and of course we'll put this in, and I have an idea for that. These papers, if you notice the back, what happened was, you see this splotch right here, a couple of these splotches. When I was looking at these papers before, and I was just, and I turned them over, see, like right here, it got wet somehow. Something got on it. It got wet somehow, got a little splotch on it. And I was like, oh, I like the way that looks. So I took these two papers and I just spritzed them down with water. And then I ironed them with my iron. And I have this bleed through, which I thought was very pretty. So, and I've decided I want these as my signature covers. Usually I use a cardstock for my signature covers, but this journal is going to be different in so many ways. So these are going to be my two signature covers. So I'm going to start my piles. So I have one pile and two piles because I'm doing two signatures. Is everything in frame? Okay. So I'm also going to put these in. What I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in the middle of the signatures. And then once the signatures are sewn in, I'm going to fold them up and I will we'll make pockets out of them. So the center of each signature will be a pocket. That's what I'm thinking now. Of course, I might change my mind. So they will be there. Two piles. Okay. This here, and I just took out my stash of 8.5 by 11s. This is like a linen paper, and I had two pieces of this left. So there we go. One for each. These are papers that I dyed. You can see that some of them are ripped, and I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to just go ahead and put them in as they are. That one's seriously ripped, but that's okay. So let's just divvy these up and see what happens. Now some of them I might fix with washi tape or with this paper. This is paper tape, surgical tape. And what I can do with it is I can go ahead and put that on there, and then, although I dyed these with food coloring and some glitter, again, this is from this iridescent medium watercolor glitter. So this is a combination of food coloring, watercolor paint, obviously water, and some of that iridescent medium. So you could make band-aids out of like surgical tape, put that on there. You could ink it around to have it kind of blend in, and that's one way of doing it. Or you could use regular washi tape with things. So there we have two of those. Here we have two more pink pages, which seem to be all together. And here I have, I just love how these came out. I'm gonna have to make more there. And this one is in serious disrepair. Serious disrepair. Look how pretty it is though. I'm not quite sure. And this is an extra one, which I was trying a different technique on. So I'm going to put that one aside. So there we have them so far. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, including the signature cover, which is a piece of paper. So I usually like mine to have more than that. This is just pages from a journal that I disassembled, which are 5 by probably 7, 5 by 7, which is a little bit smaller than what we have here, but they're lined and they're nice, so we can do that. So I said they were 7. Could put 3 just as filler, 3 in each as filler. And let's think about something else we might want to put in there. I do have other types of paper, but I want to keep it within this style and this image. So I think what I might do is I might go and dye some papers green. I do have green paper, but it's ledger paper, and I don't want to put ledger paper in this because it just doesn't go in my mind for what I'm trying to accomplish here. So as you can see, here's a sample of me playing with the green. So I think that I'm going to go do some dyeing of paper of that and put together the signatures, and we'll be back soon. I'm going to end this video here now. Look forward to number 2. Thanks for coming. Have a good day.